Hello, St. Marians. Once again, we are back with a new topic in economics, and that is importance of elasticity of demand. And this chapter is the last topic of chapter number 4. Afterwards, we'll go for the question answers, and you have to complete the answers as usual in your fair notebook. I hope so you are understanding the topics. If you are having any problem in any topic, you can discuss with me. I can solve that problem. And now we are going to start the topic, and that is importance of elasticity of demand. So first point we are going to discuss that importance of elasticity in business decisions. So if we are discussing about businessmen, how they are discussing about importance of elasticity of demand, so we can understand by a different example that in deciding that whether the increase the price of the commodity by the firm or not. So that decision may be taken through the elasticity of demand. So it is very simple that if commodity is inelastic in nature, then they can increase the price because consumers will consume that commodity and that must be consumed by them because that is inelastic in nature. And if we are discussing about elastic commodities, then price if they are increasing a lot, then consumer can postpone their demand for future. So a businessman has to decide that either they will increase the price or not, and that depends only on the nature of the commodity. One more example I can give to you that consumers will shift their consumption in case of substitute goods or cross price elasticity of demand. Suppose that commodity which you are producing, that is substitute goods or options are available in the market, and you are increasing the price of that particular commodity, then your consumers will shift to another commodity or the option of the commodity, and in that case you will have the loss. So as a businessman, we have to think that either that commodity is elastic or inelastic in nature, or having the close substitutes or not. So both all the things that a businessman should keep in mind. Otherwise, that price of the commodity, if without any discussion or without any prior homework, if he is increasing the price, then product may be in the loss and businessman may be in the loss. So next we are going to discuss about importance to monopolist. First of all, I would like to tell that what is monopoly and who is a monopolist. When only one seller is there in the market, that condition is known as monopoly. And monopolist is the single seller of any product is known as monopolist. So if we are discussing about monopolist, and idea of price elasticity of demand will help a lot for monopolist. How it will help that inelastic goods, monopolist can increase the price a lot, and he can charge higher prices which goods are inelastic in nature, because no other option is there and consumer has to purchase their product only. And one more thing is there that lower prices should be kept those products which are elastic in nature. What does it mean? Simple. It means that if he is increasing the price of perfectly elastic goods or elastic demand of the commodity, then consumer will shift or they will postpone their demand for particular commodity, and in that case, that monopolist will have the loss. So in case of monopolist, he should keep in mind that product is inelastic or elastic. If product is inelastic, then he can increase the price as much as he wants because no other seller is there. And if the commodity is elastic, then he has to think many times because consumer can postpone their consumption. So in that case, he may have the loss. Next topic we are going to discuss, that is determination of factor price. So what is factor price? You should understand first. So factor price is that price which determines that factors of production. So for example, we can take wage. So bargaining power of the trade unions depend on the elasticity of demand of the labor. For example, that particular field, particular skilled laborers are there, and trade unions are willing to increase their wages. So what will happen? If that demand for the wages is elastic, then no problem. But if demand for the wages is inelastic, then problem will be there that by increasing the uh, price of the commodity will increase, and in that way what will happen that demand of the particular commodity in the market will decrease, and if demand of the particular commodity in the market will decrease, then producer has to reduce the wages, and in that case unemployment will be there. So if that demand for the commodity is elastic or demand for the wages is elastic, then in place of that workers, the new workers may join, and in that case what may happen? Then there will be control on the price of the commodity. So it is. I hope it is clear. Once again, I am repeating that if trade union will demand for increasing of the wages of the laborers, and demand for the laborers is inelastic in the market, means that laborers are not available or the workers are not available, in that case what will happen? Producer has to increase the wage of the laborers, and in that case that raw material or that incoming cost or that whatever that cost of production will increase, and in that case price of the quantity will also increase, and at the same time what will happen? That demand for the commodity may decrease if that commodity is elastic in nature, and consumers will postpone their demand, and in that case what may happen? The workers may lose their employment. Why? Because the demand is less, so producer cannot continue the production. In that case he has to short out that workers from the factory. So I hope you understood this one. Next one, we are going to discuss importance of formulation of government policies. So while government is making the policy in case of taxes and subsidies, so government is keeping in mind that which products are elastic in consumption and which products are inelastic. So government is granting subsidy to the industries while government is thinking so that public utility things they are producing. For example, you can take that on LPG government is giving the subsidy. Why government is giving the subsidy? Because government want that people should get the facility of LPG, and there should be less pollution in the environment. And another thing we are discussing that government has imposed 2, 3, 4, 5 times more GST on tobacco products, on alcohol. Why? Because government want that these commodities should be used in less number. Means that consumers should not use these commodities. That's why government is increasing the taxes. So GST is kept where which goods are elastic in consumption, which goods are inelastic in consumption according to that. So public utility that government is giving subsidy, and which are harmful for health, which products are injurious for health, the government is having more taxes. For example, alcohol. For example, the tobacco products, government is having a lot of tax on these products. Why? Because government want that they should not purchase the product. So it is very clear that government is keeping high GST on elastic goods, and government is keeping low GST on inelastic goods, which are goods of necessities, because government don't want that common people should have problem by the taxation. So next we are going to discuss point number 5, importance in international trade. So what is international trade? While we are doing export and import to different countries or outside the country, that is known as international trade. So we have to keep in mind that rate at which exports and imports are exchanged, that is known as rate of exchange. And one more thing is there that if we are imposing high taxes or import duties while we are importing that necessity goods just like grains, then in that case we will have the problem. And while we are having that export or export duty on these products, then also we will have the benefit for the country. Why? Because if we are having crisis for grains and our farmers is willing to export, or our companies are willing to export this outside the country, then due to heavy taxes, heavy export duty, they will not export that one. And another thing that while we are importing, we are making it tax free. So according to the need of the country, we can import that particular products. One current example you can understand: while we are having the crisis of onion, or while we are having crisis, one time it was there before 10-15 years, crisis was there for sugar. So that time that India has imported sugar from Brazil, and India made it import duty free, means we can import without import duty. In that way we can fulfill that need or that demand for that sugar. In that same case is there in case of onion. While we are having the high prices in India, then we can use it import duty free. Our traders can import from other countries. They will pay low taxes. And on other hand, we can have that export duty also. If they are willing to export, then they have to pay heavy taxes. So they will not export this to another country. So like that we can have the international trade, or government can manage like this. So next we are going to discuss, that is change in rate of exchange. So first of all, it should clear that what is rate of exchange. So rate of exchange refers to the rate at which a unit of one country's currency is exchanged for currencies of other country. For example, we are exchanging dollar into rupees, then we have to give 79 rupees or 78 rupees. So 78 rupees the exchange rate for dollar in India. So what government can do? So government can make, or government can decide that devaluation or evaluation in currency in case of fixed exchange rate. It is not possible in case of floating exchange rate, but this will discuss in macroeconomics. Here you can understand only that whether that government should devalue its currency or not. It depends on that particular commodity or elasticity of demand or inelasticity of demand, or export or import. So policy of devaluation will be successful if the demand for countries export or import is elastic. Means if we can postpone the particular product, then we can devaluate the currency. But if we cannot postpone that demand, then we cannot make it devaluation the currency. Otherwise that other country will not export their products to us. So that will be a crisis for country if they are going against that one. So they have to keep in mind that demand is elastic or inelastic. In case of inelastic, we cannot have that much time period, or we have immediate help from other countries, or immediate import from other countries. And if we are devaluating that currency, then they will not ready to export their product to us. And opposite is there, or vice versa is there in other cases. So in case of elastic goods or elastic demand, we can take the risk for that one, but not in case of inelastic goods. So next, incidence of taxation. This thing is very simple to understand. uh, Incidence means that person who ultimately bear the burden of taxes, or we can say that person can postpone the tax to another person. For example, the sales tax is postponed from sellers to the consumers, and finally the consumer has to pay. So he is the incidence of taxation. And in case of elastic goods, consumer can postpone the demand for these elastic commodity. So what will happen in that case? Simply it will happen that sellers has to pay the tax for financial year. And in case of inelastic goods, consumer has to purchase, it is the compulsion for him So he will pay the tax, or more burden will there on the consumer in that case. So that buyers will have more burden of GST or that government taxes which they are imposing on inelastic commodities or necessary goods. So in that case, or in such condition, government should keep in mind while they are imposing that GST or excise duties, then they should keep in mind that commodity is elastic in nature or inelastic in nature. So if commodity is elastic in nature, then consumer can postpone their consumption. But in case of inelastic goods, that consumers cannot postpone their consumption and they has to pay more taxes, and burden will be there on the consumers a lot in that particular financial year. So next topic we are going to discuss, that is paradox of plenty. So what is paradox of plenty? Means that bumper crops brings a small income, that is known as paradox of plenty. So how it works, I will tell you like this. Suppose that government has fixed that high price for sugar cane, then what will happen, that most of the farmers will grow sugar cane, and in that case that sugar mills will not have that places or the stores for stocking the sugar. So in that case they will not, or they will refuse to take the sugar cane, or that sugar price will come down in the market, and in that case farmers are not getting the proper value of their crop. So what may happen, the price may reduce by the government because excess of the production of the commodity was there, and in the next session that price of that particular crop may be come down, or government may lower the price. So inelastic demand for agriculture product is there, or we can say so that consumption cannot be increased as we are having the elastic goods. So if that farmers are having more production of the crop, then they have to face the problem, and for keeping the farmers away from this problem, the government is having the concept of minimum price legislation, or minimum price of agricultural products, or MSP is there, which is issued by government every year. So what does it mean? It means that if that farmers are having that bumper crop, and no one is willing to give more prices, in that case they can sell out their products to the government on particular fixed price or minimum support price. They can sell their products, as well as nowadays that government is purchasing that wheat at particular price. So I hope it is clear. Once again I am telling you, if bumper crop is there and demand for that agricultural products in inelastic in nature, in that case there will be crisis for the farmers, and for avoiding that crisis for the farmers, government is having minimum support price, on which price they can give their, or they can sell out their products to the government. So for keeping the farmers away from this problem. So I hope you understood these all concepts, elastic in nature or inelastic in nature. So now we are going to discuss about which points we have discussed today. Importance of taking business decisions, and importance in monopolistic market, determination of factor prices, and assists of formulating government policies, importance in international trade, change in rate of exchange, incidence of taxation, and explanation of the paradox of plenty. I hope all 8 points you have understood. If you are having any problem in any topic, then you can write me in comment section. I can help you. So students, we are going to discuss now question answers. So which question you have to go through? Question number 1, you have to write the answer. Question number 5, question number 8, question number 11, 14, 16, and then next page. Again we are having question number 19, question number 20, question number 22 and 25. And then on next page we are having question number 26, 27, 31, and then 35, and then 39, and then in short then in long answers, short answers you have to complete all, means whatever the short answers are there, you have to complete all the answers. I hope so that less answers are there. There are 14 answers. Okay, you can leave 4 answers which are repeated one. 10 answers you can complete. And in long answers I am taking the questions which you have to complete. Question number 1, question number 3, question number 6, and one more. Okay, these 3 questions you can complete. I hope you understood the chapter number 4. If any problem, you can write me in comment section. I'll help you as soon as possible. So thank you. Stay home, stay safe, and stay tuned. Till then, have a nice day.